views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we get a sneak peek of the highly anticipated documentary Last One Standing, which honors the late Puerto Rican icon Adela Fargas in this year's Loisaida Festival. And after that, we'll sit down with Arts Latino NY member and modern dancer Daniel Fetecua to discuss his upcoming dance program taking place this summer at the ID Theater in the Bronx. And then we'll find out about the 20th anniversary edition of Comic Culture Teen and what cartoonist Ivan Velez has in store for this year's event. And later on in the show, Bobby C. brings us up to date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And so sit back y prepárate, because all this and more is coming your way. Because now we are officially open. Hello and welcome to Open, everyone. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche. Always inviting you to get social with us online. That's right. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, don't forget, while you're there, follow moi on Twitter, Instagram, FB, Snapchat, and of course, my favorite Insta stories at Rhina Valentin. So it's Memorial Day weekend, and the Dominican Day Parade boat ride is happening Sunday, May 27th. And there's a raffle taking place for a chance to win tickets for this Sunday's Dominican Day Parade boat ride. And to participate in the raffle, you must be 21 years, and all you have to do in order to participate is send an email to info@dominicanparade.org, and the raffle is only good for one per household. And once again, if you're interested in participating in the boat ride itself, you can purchase tickets by going to dominicanparade.org. So, every Sunday before Memorial Day, the Loisaida Festival is held in celebration of Latino culture. And this year, the festival will honor Puerto Rican icon Adela Fargas, founder of restaurant Casa Adela, with a documentary film, Last One Standing. And here we have a sneak peek of the documentary, so let's take a look.
Is that family that is of Loisaida, the state of mind. So I'm gonna miss all that, and I was really proud of her because she grew like a flower out of tough ground, but she sprouted as soon as she had the right environment to grow, and she didn't let go. She grew like a palm tree. And she kept going, and and that's gonna thrive. Palm trees bend, but they don't break.
She'll say, "Sit down, I'll feed you." So it's like mother when you go home. And my mother I used to say, "Mom, I'm hungry. What do you like?" And I used to tell Mom. My mom used to cook something really quickly for me, and it's like that. It's like a mother. She's my mother.
Adela has a heart of gold. A heart of gold. I think she was a Mother Earth. That's what we call in Taínos Atave. She birthed the Lower East Side. When Sandy hit the Lower East Side, she was the only one open, willing to give us food and coffee and cornbread and everything, while all other restaurants were closed. She'll always be remembered, always, especially in my heart. I love you, Adela. Gone but never forgotten. Peace.
Joining us now to tell us more about the Last One Standing documentary and the festival, we welcome producers Gary Cruz and William Rosario. Hello, gentlemen, and welcome.
Hola, Rhina. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
congratulations to you guys. This has been a couple of years in the making.
It's taken us around 4 years to, get all the footage. We started getting together about 4 years ago, and
Right.
and then sadly she passed away. So we thought it was a good moment,
Right,
a good
it's a-
tribute to their
Absolutely.
to their
It's absolutely appropriate.
She sadly passed in January, but we promised the family that we would have something for them by this weekend, by the festival.
All right. So, what inspired you to capture and collect footage on Adela?
Well, Adela is an icon to the Lower East Side. She's had a restaurant for authentic Puerto Rican restaurant, which is, I would say, maybe the last one in the Lower East Side. So I think the world should know that. So we decided to, since she's an icon, we decided to start doing footage. And I knew her personally. I'm friends with her family. So I thought it was very important just to have that footage and just show it to the world.
Aside from the food of Adela's Casa Adela's, what else was there that came with visiting Casa Adela's? Because it was really like a place that you were welcomed, you made to feel at home. I mean, obviously it was authentic Puerto Rican cooking, but there was something else special.
Yeah, as a Puerto Rican, I was raised in Puerto Rico, and every time I came to New York, it was like feeling just like feeling like you were at home, And she kept on going. She kept on the traditions, our roots in the neighborhood, and it was beautiful. It had to be captured. I mean, it had the essence of everything that has to do with our roots was there, and community-wise and everything. I mean, she was just a beautiful soul.
And so, how long is the film?
It's a work in progress film. At the moment, we have an hour and a half.
It's an hour and a half. And who are some of the featured speakers within the film? I know it's shot in documentary style, but I'm sure you have so many people who have so many wonderful words to say about her.
We have Kalina Rivera. We have Sandra Rivas. We have Pepe Flores. And
Yeah, we have
anybody else?
some people from her family. We have the Fargas sisters. We have Marlise Mumber, which she's been a photographer and documented the Lower East Side for many, many years. We had many people that wanted to honor her memory.
Right, and a lot of family members when we went to Puerto Rico to interview some of the people.
Sure.
Oh, wow. So you guys even went out to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Right, because she was buried in Puerto Rico.
Right.
So when we went out there, we managed to get together with the family and interview many of them.
Wow. So you guys have been following
Friends, families. I'm sorry. Yeah.
this. No, don't apologize. No, I know. Come on, Gary, it's me. It's okay. I know we're on air.
Okay.
But we don't have to be that formal. I acknowledge you, right, for doing this work, really de corazón, right? Because what else would motivate you to do something like
Yeah,
this?
definitely.
I'll tell you, Adela, to me, I've known her since the 1970s, and I had such respect for that woman. Era como abuela, tú sabes. And no matter who you speak to, all these people talk about her in that way. So it wasn't only the food, it was just the respect that you had to her. She had everything. And, she was nice with everyone. Everybody talks about how nice she was to them, regardless if you had money or if you didn't. Entra para acá adentro que te voy a dar un plato de arroz y habichuela. Me puedes pagar ahorita, olvídate. That was Adela Fargas. And no matter who you speak to that knew her, that's how they speak about her. And it's important.
It is important. Look, you're getting all teary-eyed over it.
Always.
Well, because, we all, right, as an artist,
Nice.
there's the ups and downs, right? We've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
And to have a place that it's got your back, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about. She had everybody's back.
Right.
She was like this matriarch of the community.
Right.
Yeah,
She
and,
was. She was.
And all the changes that are happening in the community, let's say we get into gentrification, right? Which that's not what we're talking about, but she's managed to
Sustain, yeah, to
to be
sustain.
strong and make it happen. And you know what? I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay here, regardless of the changes in this community.
Yeah.
And also, the
Yes.
Loisaida Festival is right around the corner. It's on Sunday, and I know that you always did a big celebration in front of her restaurant. So, wow, I wonder how that's going to feel this year.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of sad, but I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to come together, and that's going to bring a lot of old people that was coming to the restaurant for many, many years, and they're all coming together this Sunday, and you know, pay tribute to her.
Yeah, we have some. It's going to be a big rumba, as usual, in front
Right.
of her place, and there's going to be a lot of
Anthony
known
Carrillo.
artists that are going to be there. Anthony Carrillo
Antonio Carrillo's coming.
will show up with some people. Abraham Rodriguez Jr., the singer, he's also going to be there, and many other artists.
So, her life is going to be celebrated on Sunday, but I know the film is being released today, right?
Yeah,
so, well, tonight, Friday. I just
Right.
want to be clear. And so, let's talk a little bit about that event tonight.
All right, so it's going to be over at the Loisaida Ink Center, which is 710 East 9th Street between Avenue C and D. Doors open at 6:30. I heard it's sold out, but
It's sold
you
out
could
already?
pass by.
Yes.
Well, it was
Nice.
sold out the first day that we put it.
Yeah.
That you put it out.
But it's doors open at 6:30. Dezo El Afro-Caribeño. He's gonna be playing some music, some live music, and then the film starts at 7:45 p.m. And
And it's going to be a
That's
beautiful
what it is.
reunion,
Yeah,
is what it
yeah.
sounds like.
It
it's
is,
gonna
it
be
is.
nice. Plus, she was awarded yesterday. Or was it
The day
Wednesday, the
before.
23rd?
The day before, yeah.
She was awarded. She's for being one of the leaders of Loisaida by Libertad Guerra, the director of Loisaida Inc.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so, what do you want people to leave with, having done all this work on this film?
I think the feeling that it is important. I mean, humbleness that she brought. It is important that they leave the film thinking and feeling that unity. You know, that we as Puerto Ricans, as Latinos, really, you know, are together. You can bring together our community just by being yourself and giving your heart. And that's very important. I think that's something that we want people to leave there with, thinking about that.
And you know, Gary, just because, you know, we've got so much going on with Puerto Rico, and this is going to be shared with the diaspora, I mean, I'm just absolutely in awe of the fact that you're capturing our history and making sure that it's accessible to the next generation. With that, how do you think it will impact the diaspora and possibly motivating them into understanding that the island needs our help? And so here is this woman that you captured who brought a piece of our island into the Lower East Side and opened up her doors as if though you were in this restaurant walking along the ocean, or, you know, and just have like this place of feeling at home. What do you think how do you think that's going to serve the next generation? Because this is a documentary that it's historical. You just captured a historical document.
Yeah. Well, I just feel that that's going to help us hopefully work together. You know, Puerto Rico work together with the people in New York City. And, you know, instead of being separate, we could just be a unity, be one.
And William, I know you were nodding, and you're from Puerto Rico, so
Yeah.
what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think what he says, and you know, just having the knowledge that we are all just one you know, un pueblo. We're all together, and even though, you know, there's a lot of people that are leaving the island right now, that it's really hard, because I was one of them. I had to leave the island because of economic reasons, and to know that, you know, you can always, even though you're out of the island, you're in the mainland and you're in the States, you have to hold on to those roots, because that's our next generation has to, you know, keep the island together. And,
Right.
You know.
Well, they have to be trained to keep the island together. And it starts
It's a
with
lot
the unity
happening.
in
Right.
the messaging that you're sharing right now,
Yes.
right? Because you're talking about her being down in the Lower East Side, but then we have El Barrio and we have the Bronx, right? Which is where we are right now. And I'm saying where there are a lot of Puerto Ricans that reside, in the sense like it doesn't matter where we are. At the end of the day, we all feel for each other, right? And so how how does this film serve that aspect of where we are right now, aside from honoring her, which she so deserves and should be historically archived, you know, as
definitely,
somebody to look up, but just in general.
Yeah, it serves as an example that even though she left the island in the 70s, you know, she never really left the island. You know, she brought the Puerto Rican with her to the main. So 20, 30 years, you know, you can leave your Puerto Rico, but if you still have that connection to your fellow Puerto Ricans, you know, the next generations, even though we're fighting for our lives, really. I mean, in Puerto Rico, they're still fighting for their lives. And, you know, regardless of anything that happens in the future, which I believe, you know, we should be our own, you know, island. And
Right.
have our own say.
Right.
You know, keep that in mind when you move to the United States. Always never let go of that, you know,
Yeah.
the next
Yeah.
generation.
And so
I think this is a message of her for the whole world, that you should believe in your dreams and follow your dreams. And no matter where you go in the world, you know, you're Puerto Rican, and no matter where you are, tiene que ser siempre como el coqui.
I love that. Cookie, that's a wonderful cue.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful celebration, and congratulations to you both on your commitment and dedication to this project, because I know it's been a lot of years in the making. And so for you guys, the screening of Last One Standing will take place today, as in Friday, May 25th at 710 East 9th Street, and that's going to be happening from 6:30 to 10:30. They say you may be able to squeeze your way in, so I would give it a try. But the Loisaida Carnival Festival is happening on May 27th from 12 to 5 p.m. And for more information, you can visit loisaidafest.org. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll learn about the Comic Culture Teen Arts Program, so stay right there.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, we're always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV. And while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. So this year, the Bronx Museum of the Arts is holding its 20th edition of Comic Culture Teen, focusing on themes such as social activism, global history, and history of Native tribes. And here to tell us more about this year's program, we welcome educator and cartoonist Ivan Velez. Hello and welcome back.
How you doing?
We are so happy to have you back again this
year.
year.
Me too.
Yeah, I know, because you're like so rad. And I mean that because you are, right?
Thank you.
Well, you know, it's about social justice and implementing it into the next generation. And I just love how you use your cartoon expertise as a means of messaging, you know, this positive and empowering next generation of thinking.
Right. Well, you know, it's something, my career is kind of unique because I came from a social activism background. And then when I was like one of the first Latinos to work in like Marvel Comics and Milestone and stuff like that as a writer, it just kind of like colored everything else afterwards. And even though my career kind of fell down about maybe 20 years ago, comic books, teaching comic books really kind of saved me and kind of like gave me a place to be in the world.
What do you mean by it fell down 20 years ago?
Well, you know, things happen. I mean.
Why? Because you weren't with Marvel anymore?
Well, this is what happened when I was in the mainstream, and I really enjoyed being in the mainstream for a while.
Right.
But there's a lot of stuff that happens in the mainstream, particularly in the 90s, that, you know, I'm a kind of a unique person. I'm like, you know, I was first Latino, I was different orientation, this or that. I'm very public about who I was. And it didn't go so well.
Say it.
I know, but I'm just saying it didn't go as well as I could have. So when I stopped getting work, and that's kind of what happened. It's like the mainstream comics kind of quit me. My identity kind of was like really kind of depressed and sad for a little while. And teaching comics was kind of like a way, and it was my mom who did that, by the way. She used to work right around the corner in PS 86, and she used to do after school programs with Aspira. And she saw how depressed and kind of down I was, and she wanted me to teach kids. And I did a part-time job there. I did the first comic culture class there. Wow, so long ago, 20 years ago. And it really gave me a chance to kind of like see life in a different way. And see that there was there's no reason why there weren't more kids of color in comics industry, in the stories. I mean, when I was a little kid, we didn't have any characters of color at all.
Right.
I mean, no blacks, no Latinos, no Asians, nothing. So this was kind of a way to not only continue to do my own cartooning, which is going pretty well. Thank you very much.
Right, congratulations.
Yeah,
I think it's going very well.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
No,
and,
I love it because you get to say what you want to say
and it's
without
really,
somebody censoring it.
And thank goodness that when I look back at my career, thank goodness I had that bump in the road there, because if not, I wouldn't be here. I would be still like doing comics for like Batman or Superman or something like that. Doing somebody else's work.
Right, versus what you do now. Which is just share what you do now.
Well, we teach these classes. Every year is a different theme. I try to teach them a little bit of social activism in the comic book work. I try to teach them to be aware of the images they're getting from the world. And I try to teach them to create images and have themselves reflected. And right now, manga, Japanese comics, is so popular right now. And I saw that how deep kids were getting into it, more than American comic books right now. So I kind of use that kind of thing too, and I have a whole host of people come in and help me, and like manga artists and different cartoonists. And I'm just really happy the way things are going. The kids seem to be really respond to it. I've been getting a grant to do this. It's like 10 years now for getting a grant for the Bronx Council of the Arts. Thank you very much. And I've just got a lot of support. The Bronx Museum lets me host it there. They let me use their supplies and their rooms. And it's just been a wonderful thing.
And the workshop started, right?
The workshop started. The young kids started. We have like 2 sessions in this semester. The young kids finished about 2 weeks ago. Now we have the teenagers, which is 13 to 19. We have a second class on Saturday, and we'll go to the end of June. And then like June, we'll have like the big party, invite everybody to come.
Is there limited seating, or like how does one join?
You can
classes?
actually show up at just register on site, at least for the next couple of weeks. I like people to go to comicculturex@gmail.com and just kind of give me a name and a heads up. We usually get around maybe 10 to 15. If we get a little bit more, that's okay, because when I work for the libraries, I've done up to like 50 kids at once. But it's a nice kind of like little intimate group, and they seem to be doing really well. I really enjoy that.
So how do you could it be a newcomer, or should it be somebody that's somewhat versed in comic book
I think
sketching and writing?
You have to kind of not only you have to understand that people come from different kind of like points in comics. They might like to read comics, they might like to draw, and they might like to write. Some maybe just need some kind of like other kind of stimulus to get going. We have different how you call it, different levels on the spectrum show up sometimes, and we deal and we fold everybody in. And it's just, you don't have to know how to draw. You don't have to learn how to write. But I will tell you this, after the class, you will draw better, you will write better, and I think you'll see the world a little bit more open.
So how are you able to gauge that though? Like if you have all these different levels in one room.
Well, it's been intimate enough that we can kind of go with each person.
Right.
When we have panelists come in, the questions are really good. We see how they kind of respond, and we also see the level of work improve. So that's in that way, it's only a 6-week, 7-week program. And it's only like one time a week, but even
the
that little bit.
teenagers just started, right? I just want
right.
to clear that.
The teenagers started.
You're saying it's 6 to 7 weeks, so
right.
that means they still have time.
They still have time to come in. We also have programs during the summer with the public library. I have a comic culture class with them too. If you go to my website, planetbronx.com, you can see what other classes are available. And of course, I will start once I come back from Asia in August. I will start.
Que vida.
I know, right?
Ay, Dios mío, se va para Asia. I love it, love it.
Well, it's good to be an artist.
That's what's up.
You know, it's a different life. I mean, I worry about my retirement because there's no pension, no nothing. But let's see what happens when we get there.
Well, we could hook you up with a life insurance.
Right,
that will help you out with that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, off screen.
Okay.
However, what are the themes that you like to focus on?
Well, we deal with isms, kind of recognizing like racism, even positive isms like feminism and stuff like that. We talk about what happened in Puerto Rico. In fact, when we talk about the indigenous cultures right now, it's kind of a way to understand this country, because everything that happened in this country really happened in Puerto Rico and Cuba and Dominican Republic, because that's when the Europeans first came in, about colonization, so we teach about that. We teach them that, even the Bronx natives, they exist. People in this country, indigenous people really seem to be so invisible in so many different ways, and it's this kind of a way just to open your eyes and see that they're not only just indigenous people, but like Asians, Arabs, Bangladesh. It's like all the different cultures, and we want to recognize and kind of fold them into the art. Not just that one mainstream, person in America.
That's fascinating. I just got a visual of like incorporating folkloric stories, into
so
a superhero.
Rich.
It's absolutely.
They're amazing.
And then the superpowers can come from like drums and things of that
nature.
nature.
And people have been doing it, because if you even look at Spider-Man, he's basically an Anansi story. He's like the trickster spider. So it's like all this kind of stuff is in there already, but we want to do our own version. We want to just kind of do the right, true, valid way.
Well, we want to tell our truth.
Yeah.
Our truth is really
and
what
they're
it
telling
is.
These kids are telling the truth, and they really surprise me. And I learn a lot just from seeing what they come up with and what they talk about and what they put through on the paper.
So before we go, what stands out for you the most in your programming when you've worked with an individual and have seen them off?
Well, I have students that come back to me, right? I have students who are like maybe 30 years old, which is kind of freaked out when you see them. It's like, oh my God. And they still in the industry. They're art teachers, they're artists, they're writers, and I think right now we're going to try to do a little short films next year and get together. So that's like a beautiful thing. I see a lot of people who went into the classes join the game and improve the game. I have one student who's like just won a major Glyph award for her work, and I'm just so proud of her. Alyssa, Shauna Grant, she's like amazing.
Awesome.
So it's good to see that for whatever reason, my connection to the kids and their connection to the art, it's working, and they're in the world and they're changing the game, which is a beautiful thing.
I'm so excited.
I know,
it's
right?
like, yes, no, I adore your energy, Ivan.
Thank you.
Ivan, you're doing some great stuff. Look at how you're sprinkling our next generation. And thank you for sharing those inspiring stories.
And I'm doing stuff for adults too, okay? This summer we're hosting 3 programs for adults, workshops, and it'll happen at the Bronx Museum, and it'll be on the website. So adults kind of can get into it late too, but they enjoy comics and manga and stuff like that. We want want to discuss that.
All right, so we went through a lot of stuff, but basically the central location is the website, the comic culture.
PlanetBronx.com.
PlanetBronx.com.
Right.
PlanetBronx.com. Ivan Velez, everyone, and we love having him here. And Comic Culture Teen is actually currently going on now all the way up until June 30th. And the classes are from 12 noon to 1:30, and they're open for teenagers. What's the age range we're talking about?
13 to 19.
13 to 19. Right. And once again, for more information on that, you can go to BronxMuseum.org. And for more information on all of the courses he's offering, you can go to PlanetBronx.com, right?
Thank you. Yep.
Awesome.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, the Art Students League has celebrated its 125th anniversary of arts, and reporter Ashley Tiffany has the story. Let's take a look.
We're here at the Art Students League of New York reception and auction, where guests are bidding and buying from the league instructors. And studios invoking the grandeur of the Vanderbilt Gallery, works by the league's renowned instructors and alumni, students and young adults was on display.
So tonight we're celebrating the 125th anniversary of the league's building. And we opened this building in 1892, and it really is one of the first exhibition venues for emerging artists at the time in New York City. This is the first time that we've hosted this event. I'm looking forward to really all parts of our community coming together here, both the public and our instructors, our students, and just kicking off a really exciting and successful auction of our instructor work.
The strolling reception served hors d'oeuvres and cocktails with live entertainment.
Originally, I was thinking that I wanted to take these cells of waves and sky, and actually, once they're established, make a film, an animation, going from one to the other. It's more of a celebration of the ocean and the power and the excitement of it.
I'm very happy, yes. It's something new for the school. I love the school is developing very nicely, and such a great event like tonight. Auction, it's very, very touching.
The beauty of the Art Students League of New York, there's no prerequisites and you can enter at any level. To learn more, please visit theartstudentsleague.org. I'm Ashley Tiffany reporting for BronxNet.
Thank you, Ashley, and stay tuned because Bobby's the weekly sports roundup is coming up next.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
This is Bobby C. reporting from Times Square. Racing legend Danica Patrick and I are heading to the Indianapolis 500. Will the real Danica Patrick please stand up? Patrick will complete her iconic racing career Sunday in the 102nd running of the greatest spectacle in racing. She was in New York Tuesday to pub the largest one-day sporting event in the country and to join toy builder Lego in unveiling a statue in her honor.
I feel like I've been so fortunate in my career to have so many great fans, so many great sponsors, so many opportunities, so many great successes, and so when you're reminded of that in ways like having your own Lego sculpture of yourself, it gives you a little bit of perspective.
It's really cool getting to do these types of events where you're unveiling it with the actual person who you've actually made.
it's endless creativity. You can build anything you want with Lego, and that's really what this model is here to help do. Not only is it to celebrate Danica Patrick's retirement and her final race here with IndyCar, but just to see the reaction of the fans and kids and just inspire creativity is why we do this.
Patrick is the highest female finisher in Indy 500 history, and she'll have one more shot at the famed milk and bricks in the winner's circle this Sunday.
When the idea about finishing up at Daytona came, I was like, well, what about Indy? And I really was only talking about doing the Indy 500 this year. It's a great way to kind of honor where I've been, to be able to have one last go, be able to thank the fans and be there, and to finish up where it all started 13 years ago. Lucky number 13 is really cool.
The 36-year-old Patrick was the first female driver to lead laps and score a top 5 finish at the Indianapolis 500 in 2005. She was the first woman to win a Major League open wheel race in a North American series, and she is the only woman to win a NASCAR Cup Series pole. She set the fastest time in qualifying for the Daytona 500 in 2013 and then finished in 8th place, the highest finishing position ever for a woman. More on Patrick in the C-list. As for the big race itself, ABC will be airing the Indy 500 with pre-race coverage beginning Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The command for drivers to start their engines will take place at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and the race will unfold at 12:19. The 500-mile competition will feature 33 drivers. Ed Carpenter has taken the top starting spot for the 3rd year in a row. Drivers Simon Pagenaud and Will Power will join him in row 1 and in the number 2 and number 3 spots, respectively. Patrick, Carpenter's teammate, has qualified for 7th in the final start of her career, meaning she'll start in row number 3. This is a huge weekend for motorsport racing. Formula One is in Monaco, and of course, there have been plenty of moments that have shaped F1's legendary race in Monte Carlo. That Senna lap, that Schumacher stunt, and when dominant races go wrong, of course. After 5 rounds of this thrilling season, Mercedes heads to Monaco with the momentum after back-to-back victories. Can they make it a hat trick in Monte Carlo, or will Sebastian Vettel get his and Ferrari's respective championship quests back on track? That is the question. Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton is the man to beat. The defending champion currently leads these standings with 95 points, 17 over his closest rival, Ferrari's Vettel. In MotoGP, another race, another victory for Marc Marquez. The Honda rider won the French GP and remains in first place in the standings with 3 victories to date. Up next for the best motorcycle riders in the world, Italy on June 3rd. We'll keep focused on horsepower, but shift gears to another kind of horsepower. Last weekend's Preakness Stakes will be remembered for rain, and more rain, an eerie fog that engulfed Pimlico, and a brilliant effort by undefeated Kentucky Derby winner Justify that kept alive trainer Bob Baffert's bid for a 2nd Triple Crown as the Chestnut Colt notched a half-length win. The 150th Belmont Stakes runs Saturday, June 9th from Belmont Park. Justify is 1 victory away from horse racing's coveted Triple Crown. He's going off at 4-5 at several major sports books. On the ice, longtime NHL executive Lou Lamoriello is coming to the New York Islanders. The Islanders named him their president of hockey operations on Tuesday, giving the longtime executive complete control over an organization that has made only 3 playoff appearances in the past decade. The 75-year-old legend spent the past 3 seasons as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs after winning 3 Stanley Cups in a nearly 3-decade tenure running the New Jersey Devils. His son Chris has worked for the Islanders since August 2016 and currently serves as the team's assistant general manager. The 2017-18 NHL season has been a needed reminder that we're still capable of seeing surprises year in and year out. The Vegas Golden Knights, who are listed with odds as high as 500-1 to win the championship before the season started, are not supposed to be representing the Western Conference in the upcoming Stanley Cup final, but they are. To claim a conference title in your first year of existence is nearly unthinkable. The Knights are just the 2nd expansion team to make it to the finals in a Big Four American sport since 1960, following in the footsteps of the 1967-68 St. Louis Blues, who accomplished their feat when the NHL had just 12 teams, 6 of which were expansion franchises. That is remarkable. It might be remarkable that anyone believes in Jets backup quarterback Christian Hackenberg, but apparently Raiders coach John Gruden does. The Hackenberg era ended in New York before it started, and that's on the Jets, specifically general manager Mike McCagnon, whose second-round reach in 2016 will be remembered as one of the franchise's all-time draft clunkers. Hackenberg's mechanics were a mess. His confidence was shot after 3 up-and-down seasons at Penn State. The Raiders sent a 7th rounder to the Jets for Hackenberg this week. Gruden believes he can make something out of the former 2nd rounder. On the baseball diamond, the Bronx Bombers continue to play well, going back and forth with the Boston Red Sox for first place. They were tripped up earlier in the week by the Texas Rangers and their ace, Cole Hamels, who limited the potent offense to 4 hits over 7 innings. It could have been an audition for Hamels, who is rumored to be on the Yanks' radar. The lefty, who was the 2008 World Series MVP, said he would be open to pitching for a playoff team. He would have to waive his no-trade clause to come to the Bronx. Across town, the New York Mets have a new addition. Jose Bautista was sitting on his couch at home in Florida when the call came Tuesday afternoon. He had a new job with the Amazons. So the former home run champ hustled to the airport in Tampa, Florida, hurried to Citi Field. The 6-time All-Star hit a double in his first at-bat in a 5-1 loss to Miami on Tuesday night. The signing will help the Mets, who have been dealing with injuries, especially the loss of slugger Yoenis Cespedes, who is on the DL. There will be a new home run derby king at this year's signature All-Star Game event. Yankee slugger Aaron Judge told the New York Post on Tuesday that he will sit out the annual home run hitting contest scheduled for July 16th at Nationals Park in Washington during this year's All-Star Game festivities. Angels two-way star Shohei Ohtani said he would be honored to be talked about potentially participating in the home run derby during this year's All-Star break. The Japanese phenom has 6 homers as a part-time DH. Judge won last year's competition at Marlins Park. He became the 4th Yankee player to win the derby, joining Tino Martinez in 1997, Jason Giambi in 2002, and Robinson Cano in 2011. Judge, the reigning American League Rookie of the Year and AL home run champion, dismissed any chance that he would change his mind by this year's All-Star break, even if MLB pressured him to participate. On the WNBA hardwood, the New York Liberty opened the season in a defeat to Chicago last Sunday. They are back in action tonight, hosting Minnesota. And MLS soccer, New York City Football Club is in Houston to face the Dynamo tonight. The club is in 2nd place behind Atlanta United in the MLS standings. The New York Red Bulls are not far behind. They're in 4th place. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for a final thought on Danica Patrick and the Indy 500. Become the first woman to host the ESPYs, breaking another barrier when she takes the microphone for ESPN's 26th annual awards show July 18th at Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. She ended her media tour Tuesday in New York with an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Patrick has a special connection to the ESPYs. She said she was first introduced to her current boyfriend, Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, at the event. As mentioned, her IndyCar resume is pretty impressive. When it's all said and done, she might be remembered more for her track time in NASCAR. For this C-list, we asked the question, is Danica a NASCAR Hall of Famer? Patrick doesn't have a Cup Series win on her resume, but that doesn't necessarily preclude her from NASCAR Hall of Fame consideration. As a pioneer, Patrick is still the only woman to win a pole in the NASCAR Cup Series, which she did for the 2013 Daytona 500. She finished 8th in that race, the highest finish of any female driver in the Daytona 500. She holds the record for number of top 10 finishes by a female driver with 7. Her career best finish of 6th at Atlanta in 2014 is the best of any female driver other than Sarah Christensen, who finished 5th in a field of 23 cars in 1949, the 2nd year of NASCAR. I'll be rooting for Danica on Sunday. That would make for a great story, and of course, our BronxNet cameras will be there to capture it. Patrick is listed at 30-1 odds to win the 2018 Indianapolis 500 at the Westgate Las Vegas Superbook. After leaving the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series as a full-time driver following the 2017 season, Patrick put together the Danica Double, including starts at both NASCAR's Daytona 500 and now IndyCar's Indy 500. Social media poll question time. Is Danica a Hall of Famer? Question mark. Will she win the 500 on Sunday? Question mark. And if not her, who are you taking on Sunday? Early favorites include Alexander Rossi, winner of the 2016 Indy 500, Joseph Newgarden, the reigning league champ, and both Scott Dixon and Simon Pagino. Other drivers of note include three-time race winner Elio Castro Nieves, back with Penske racing for the 500, and 2013 champion and fan favorite Tony Kanaan. Vroom, vroom. Enjoy the race and the holiday. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Hello and welcome to Open, everyone. You know, we're always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV. And while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. So our next guest is a renowned modern dancer and an Arts Latino New York member who travels the world teaching the Limon technique. And well, he's coming to the Bronx now to give students the same opportunity. And we're going to learn more about this, and he's going to discuss the Summer Dance Youth Ensemble. Please welcome dancer and choreographer Daniel Fetecua. Hello.
Hola.
Hola. Hola. So I opened up with the Limon technique, and
yes.
We're so happy that you're able to bring it here into our borough and pass it on to the next generation. However, let's share with the viewers what the Limon technique is about.
Well, Limon technique was, Jose Limon was a renowned choreographer and dancer who created this company in 1942. And he was mentored by Doris Humphrey, who was the creator of the Limon Humphrey technique, so which is based in fall and recovery. So the Limon technique, in that time, they wanted to go a little bit away from the ballet world from Europe, and they want to find their own voice. And they found that the best way to do it was on those 2 points, before you fall into the abandon yourself when you're more vulnerable, and then picking yourself up, which is what we do every day, you know. We kind of go through everything. So the technique is based on that, but it has, and then Jose Limon inject like his personality and his background as well as a Mexican. And he just, you know, he was a master choreographer, and one of his famous, most famous pieces, the Morse Pavane, based on Shakespeare Othello. And it has been, you know, re-staged by the American Ballet Theater, by the Royal Ballet, by, you know, many, many ballets in the world. And I had the privilege to dance with the company for 10 years as a soloist, and have the privilege to dance dances that he did by himself, for himself, solo pieces like the Emperor John's and other pieces. And so I have the blessed to be in this company for 10 years, learning every year, every class, every rehearsal, 6 hours, 8 hours in the studio rehearsing, and traveling the world, yes, performing with the company worldwide.
And so now you're bringing it here to the Bronx, to ID Studio Theater.
Yes.
And you're offering all these wonderful opportunities. So how do you sort it out? Like, how do you sort out you, the professional dancer, and separate that from you, the instructor, who has to tend to the next generation?
Yes, so, well, they go hand by hand. I mean, I'm a professional dancer, but I'm also an educator. So in the time that I was with the company, we have the summer workshops, and we will teach for 3 weeks intensives, and I will be teaching the technique and how you pass on this information. The first, you have it in your body, and then you have to pass it on. And so in the same time, I was doing my own work. So in those last 8-9 years, I started to develop my own voice as a choreographer. And I started with the first piece I choreographed. It was Pachamama, commissioned by Dancing in the Streets, and with a grant from the Jerome Foundation, performed at Harlem Stage, and music by Pablo Mayor, who composed the piece for me, which Pablo Mayor is part of Arts Latino New York. So that was the beginning of this long collaboration with Pablo, first, in finding my own voice as a choreographer, mixing what I have, the Colombian tradition, which I'm a traditional dancer too. You know, like Colombianos, we dance salsa too,
yes, right,
the folklore, and then I studied abroad in Germany with the school of Pina Bausch and the Vollmann Hochschule, and I learned from her too how the dance theater, which comes from the inside out. And so in all these years, I'm trying to find my own voice and how I mix all this sancocho,
right,
que está
right.
mezclado.
Well, we love sancocho. ¿Qué? That's a little bit of
Lo
everything.
tenemos en todos los países. It's increíble.
Well,
So,
I think the best English translation for that is potpourri.
right.
Although you don't,
right.
sancocho you eat. Right?
in different sancochos. So in all these years, I have been doing different things, trying a lot of things, and recently, these three companies, which are under the umbrella of Idea Studio, which is this house in the South Bronx, in 140th Street, opened a year ago. So Idea Studio have this beautiful brownstone that we turn into, in the third floor, they have a beautiful theater where we present in theater. And most of the performances are donation-based. So people just go and donate and have wonderful shows. And then in the basement, we have a recording studio for music and also a studio for dance. So that's when my part comes into the Arts Latino New York, which is a multidisciplinary alliance of these three Colombian artists, which is Germán Jaramillo, the director of ID Studio Theater, Paulo Mayor from Folklore Urbano, and myself from Pajarillo Pintado, which is also part of Daniel Fetecua Productions.
Beautiful. So if somebody wanted to participate in your classes, how would they go about doing so?
So they can email Daniel Fetecua Productions, so dfp.education@gmail.com. Or they can visit pajarillopintado.org.
Pajarito Pintado.
Pajarillo Pintado.
Pajarillo Pintado.org. Oh,
so dfp.education@gmail.com.
Okay. And so you're going to give us a taste of your style, right? So can we set that up
a little
before
bit of a mix.
we go to break? Because
yes.
I want to set that up a little bit. What is it? A little mix of?
It's the Colombian, a dance from the Pacific coast called currulao, and a modern dance. So it's a different trip of how do you feel in different places of the world. So New York, Colombia, Amalfi Coast.
Beautiful. Well,
thank you. And this summer, so we have the Summer Intensive, which is the first intensive that we're doing 2 weeks, from July 30th to August 10. And we're opening the space for dancers who want to train and have a feeling of an ensemble, like a company feeling, where we're going to be training in Limón technique, but also creating on my style and with them a new piece that is going to be performed on August 10th in the house of the Bronx in Idea Studio.
So it's a 2-week intensive, July 30th to August 10th, and it's going to be at ID Studio Theater. Yes. And you guys are going to get a taste of what he's going to teach you guys. Should you be interested, right? I'm already interested, and I haven't even attended, and I haven't even seen him dance. But we have to take a quick break. But when we return, Daniel's going to perform a special dance piece that obviously you're not going to want to miss because, well, he's going to be offering this wonderful course throughout the summer, so don't go anywhere.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
And I can't change, even if I try.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight. Here now to perform Pachamama, let's give it up for Daniel Fetecua. I'm going to let you catch your breath. And you guys, just so you know, Danielle is going to be holding auditions for the Summer Youth Dance Ensemble, and that's going to be taking place on June 2nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And once again, that program begins July 30th through August 10th. And if you want more information on the audition, you could go to, what's the website again?
pajarillopintado.org or Daniel Fetecua on my Facebook.
Okay, so yeah, you want to go to Daniel Fetecua? Yeah, because, you know, pajarillo.
It gets a little bit complicated.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all good. We thank you so much. And you guys, once again, visit his Facebook, which is Daniel Fetecua. And, bueno, that's our show today, mi gente. He's catching his breath. Thanks to all our guests for coming through and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the cable cast tonight, 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, amor, and remember to honor those who have served this country, mi gente. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone. Enjoy. Mwah. Adios.